My topic for this project is called Measuring Intelligence in Infants and Young Children based on Parental Characteristics and Parenting Styles. For the beginning of this presentation, I would just like to discuss the early development of children. It was stated that mothers who stimulate their infants with objects and events would excel in verbal development, therefore promoting high cognitive achievements as they grow into young children. Parents are also considered to be their child's first teacher, and a child's development and intelligence come from early stages in play. Parenting is a huge source of influence on a child's development, personality, and psychological traits that could be a significant indicator on how children will develop and function in the future. The Big Five personality factors can be used to measure the parent's psychological characteristics, and the results can show how the child will develop based upon their parent's psychological characteristics. Things such as warmth, positivity, guidance are all factors in the Big Five personality for the parents that will then in turn go on to the children. Early attachment between parent and child. Attachment to the parent is important for a child's development in the future. Attachment will benefit the child's cognitive, behavioral, and social skills, as well as their emotional responses and personality. And also, early attachment will lead to long-term development. Brain development is important for infants and young children. Infants who were subjected to visual stimuli during their first 6 months of their life excelled in verbal development during their first 2 years of life, and also scored higher on intelligence assessments. Children who became attached to parents during the first 2 years of their life will have a greater effect on their intelligence levels in the future. Infants who had more vocal parents are predicted to have a greater advantage in intelligence due to being in environments that provided more advantages. This is also an overview of early child play as I discussed in the previous slides. Pretend play is crucial to the development of children. Pretend play aids in the development of cognitive, social, and emotional development. Pretend play also increases intelligence and develops abstract reasoning. Emotion coaching is a parenting style that is defined as the parents being aware of emotions within themselves and their children and using this awareness to benefit their child's socialization. Emotion dismissing is a lack of awareness and a diminished ability to deal with their child's emotions. By understanding these concepts, the parents will begin to understand the importance of early child play. Children feel many emotions during playtime, such as happiness, sadness, anger. So understanding these emotions will help to put the child on the right track to articulate and express these emotions. The point of early child play is that all roads will lead to the child's future intelligence and education. It is important that parents understand their psychological characteristics because they can shape the child in more ways than the parents even know. Parenting psychological characteristics and parenting style portion of this test pretty much go hand in hand. The parent's psychological characteristics will shape their style of parenting, whether they be neurotic and helicopter parents, also known as authoritative, or laissez-faire parents, also known as permissive parents. The relationship between parenting and behaviors in children can be defined by the following categories. Parental support. Parents are responsive to the child's needs and have positive interactions with their child. Positive discipline. Parents reinforce good behavior and make use of disciplinary techniques. Parents who engage in positive interactions rather than negative interactions will aid in the positive outcome of their child's future. Parenting styles. They include parent-child interaction, parent-child joint activities, and parent involvement in children's education. Parenting styles will also impact their child's school achievements in the future. Authoritative parenting is said to be the best known method in child rearing. Low sensitivity and high demandingness define authoritative parenting, while high sensitivity and low demandingness define permissive parenting. Children raised by authoritative parents have been said to be more proficient, cheerful, and successful. Now we go along to discuss the test that I would give to parents to see what type of parenting style they have, what type of psychological characteristics they possess, so that they can get a better understanding on how they teach their children and how much they really do put into their child's future education and intelligence levels. The content of my test will range from questions about interaction and cognitive stimulation, nurturing, and guidance, along with questions about the parent's psychological and personality characteristics. This context should be covered because gathering these answers will gain results needed to understand the outcome of the test. Test users will be doctors hoping to achieve answers on styles of parenting based on the psychological and personality characteristics of the parents. The test takers will be parents of infants and young children. The setting that I would use would be very minimal so that there'll be no distractions, and there will also be an interactive portion of playtime, which will be a visual aid for the doctors to see the way that the parents interact with the child. The test format will be questions with answers of highly likely to highly unlikely and yes and no. The test will be scored with the basis of which parental psychological characteristics are more beneficial to the child and which parenting style gains better results for the child's future. Parents should be able to tend to their child's needs with such things as behavior, motor skills, and cognitive development. This test will be standardized, and each parent will answer the same questions and the answers will be compared. Oops, sorry about that. This is just a few photos of parenting styles. As I discussed before, the helicopter parent, always close by, pays a lot of attention to their child's education. And then a permissive parent, very friendly, less disciplined, which would then in turn in the future have children maybe not get the best grades, giving into indulgence, avoidance, things like that. So for the test questions, before the parents answer any questions based upon their interaction with their child, a brief questionnaire will be handed out in order to have the doctor become enlightened about the parents. The questionnaire will ask questions based on their own personality and psychological characteristics that they feel they possess, and also the parenting style they use. These questions will give the doctor a better look into the parents and a better understanding on why they answer the following questions the way they did. This would be a 10-question assessment with the questions as follows. When you get home from a long day at work, will you make time for interaction with your child or children? Highly likely or highly unlikely? Do you believe early interaction will aid in the intelligence of your child? Yes or no? Do you believe that your own psychological characteristics will determine the intelligence in your child? Highly likely or highly unlikely? And this will be based upon the questionnaire that the parents would answer for themselves for their characteristics. Will you read or sing lullabies to the child before bed? Highly likely or unlikely? Is it important to do color, shape, or language exercises with your child every single day? Yes or no? Do you believe authoritative parenting will impact your child's intelligence in the future? Yes or no? Do you believe playtime in the infant stage will set your child up for success as they grow older because of early stimulation? Yes or no? Will you continue to interact for educational purposes with your child into their adolescent years? Highly likely or highly unlikely? Do you believe it is better to let the child learn on their own with no guidance? Yes or no? If you forget to interact with things such as reading, playing, singing, etc., with your child one night, do you believe this will stunt their educational growth? Yes or no? After answering these questions, interacting with the child under supervision of the doctor will score each question based upon the findings on whether or not the parent's psychological characteristics and parenting style hold any bearing on their child's intelligence. This is just a cute little picture I found of the kid reading with his glasses on, looking super excited. The importance of this test, in my own opinion, is that it can help parents understand how their psychological characteristics and parenting styles may affect their children in the future. But there could be a backlash for this test. Parents may feel criticized by the results, and maybe based on their answers, they could pull back from their child. But also it can maybe even help them to engage even more. So that would be something really nice to see in the results of the test. This test is also important to do culturally because different cultures raise and educate their children in different manners. So the research should be brought into other cultures to compare and contrast all the results. This test is not designed to belittle the parents in their psychological characteristics or their parenting styles, but to understand why some children may excel in intelligence at a faster rate than others. All parent and child relationships are different, so gathering a better understanding on this aspect will not only help the doctors, but help the parents as well. To continue the importance of the test, I did not limit this test to any family dynamic in particular. This test should be given as a broad spectrum test, including married parents, divorced parents, single parents, with just a mother raising the children or a father raising the child or children, adoptive parents, and the list can go on for guardians or whoever is parenting the child. Each type of parent will have different psychological characteristics and different personalities. So any of these results would be important and interesting to see. And that was the end of my presentation. This is just a list of all my references, as you see here, to see where I gained information. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and thank you for your time.